Hello, YouTube. Hopefully it's alright. Oh, now I see a problem. YouTube cannot see anything. Don't worry, we're still here. We're just in the dark. Maybe I'll give her some. Maybe I'll get her some lighting. Turn that on. Get some night vision going. Let's go down to 60. Save changes. Boom. There we go. Now we can see. We can see Grumthar. Last we left off was Grom returning for a while, visiting from the Nine Hells as he's venturing in his path to save Silon. He helped our group to capture a devil, certain captain. But to say that name, y'all don't know names here. A certain captain in a region that is commanding portals in Polaria. Either way, that she was captured and will be questioned by Crinvia. But the party, after some tense moments here and there, still worked together without even lifting a finger to fight. With Grom's silver tongue, they were able to capture this eeriness, go through the portal, jump back into Crinvia's tavern, have a little bit of discussion of, well, as far as Saz was concerned, which we will probably be revisiting, but with Saz having some questions to be answered, as for some unknown reason, the eeriness was talking to Saz, believing that there was something involved in connection with other Serpari around the region, or those that have possibly in the past helped to join in battle with the devils, or Anam. But as everybody transcended past that scene, we're going to join the group as they eventually had visited, some had visited the city. Being Saz, Cub actually went out and decided to party with the college kids that he was invited to, maybe eventually returning sometime in the night. But of course, Grumthar also got a room, and he would have been visited later that night by one of the succubi, a particular succubi who is more attuned to awareness of the mortal soul, to be able to speak and talk and possibly soothe and converse more than anything else. Her skills are vast. And then Tarnik, of course, would have headed back to the Sad Dog Tavern. And we also have Narzag, who decided to stay the night outside in the stables with his eagle. Which I always forget the eagle's name for some reason. I don't know why. But we're actually going to start with Grumthar. So Grumthar, throughout the night...
I want a couple clarifications. Maybe you've forgotten, maybe you're going to get to it. Before I went to the room, I had earlier requested a hot bath.
Yes.
Call me mentioning, yeah. All right. And at the same time, I would inquire about the person that would be joining me, and I request beverages and refreshments and delicacies that would appeal to this person.
Oh.
So I can be a good host.
Okay. Okay. And let me see. This one is... Okay, so you would have taken the bath. Yes, and the bath would have been brought to your room. And, of course, there would have been another succubi, probably Liluva, who had prepared the bath, and you would have asked her that. And I'm going to send you... Well, that's strange. I don't know why that is. Oh, they did an update. Okay. That's why it's asking me to sign in. I hate when they do that. But anyway, the person that Grumthar would have been waiting on would have been Ishara. And I can go ahead and copy that. Everybody has different pronunciations, but there we go.
Okay. Ishara.
Ishara. And though, as Liluva would have finished and taken all these orders, and once you were done with your bath, she would have stepped out and she would have said that Ishara would be the one that's being sent up, and that she is quite the succubi, as she is known as the Empress of Pleasure, not necessarily because of any cardinal stuff, but because she is very skilled at all pleasures or comforts, depending be it an elegant seduction or a soft and gentle conversation. Her skills are highly sought by diplomats, spies, and nobles, she would have said as she smiled and closed the door. Of course, with other helping to take out the bath. And with that, an hour or so later is when she would have appeared. And indeed, the succubus would have closed the door, depending on what Grumthar would have been doing, just waiting. But yes, all the foods and such would have been brought up already by this time. And she would have stepped in and elegantly closed the door as she stops and looks about in the room and smiles at you. And before I continue, just to make sure, as she would have been told this, Grumthar was looking more for...
He is absolutely looking for mental conversation, but he hadn't closed the door on any other activity, right? So see where that goes, kind of the idea.
Excellent.
Because Grumthar's not one to just get to business. He wants to have that mental, almost spiritual connection. And then if, if she's as skilled as if she wants to angle it that way or feels it's the appropriate thing, then maybe it will happen.
Okay. And so she steps in, and she has not a sly smile, but she has a smile, a friendly smile, personable, as she looks at you. And at first, she just stands and waits. It's as if she's studying you, but it's not in a unfriendly manner. Her gaze, you can feel it, almost as if it's kind of gently roving over you. And she actually waits at first to see what Grumthar does as she's standing there. What is Grumthar doing?
So I see Grumthar. He's sitting on the edge of the bed, his hands out in a receiving position, his eyes closed, and he's meditating. He's trying. He is a religious person, although he's not skilled in it, if that makes sense. Right? He was grown. He was raised in the tenets of Ganesh, and he has his prayers, his meditations that he's versed in, and he's just seeking guidance from the gods as to, how has he gotten where he is? Is he really a chosen of Ganesh? And what would the gods have him do? He's been thrust into this leadership position, but yet the team doesn't seem to respect. That's a strong word. Fully embrace the position they bestowed upon him. So, and he doesn't have experience with it. All these things are going through his head, and that's let alone with the personal stuff with his grandfather and Selah, and having to find a wife, and and he trusted this bard with his sword and the whole lore of his grandma. So he's just got all these stresses on him, and so he probably is just, he is a physical presence, right? Muscles rippling. He probably is just wearing the towel that he dried off with from the bath. And so that's how he is. He's sitting on the edge of the bed, hands in receiving position, just praying for clarity in his life.
Okay. All right, so he's meditating upon this, and she would take notice. Though if his eyes are closed, he probably doesn't see any of this. But you do hear the soft padding of footsteps as she closes it and walks forward. And you feel the presence. And you can feel, as she nears by, the warmth. And she will say, softly, Trinvia said you requested mental communication or conversation, she called it.
And Grunther would like to respond, but probably just kind of does a low, again, I don't want to say growl, but just like he's releasing some tension. Yes, I appreciate your coming. I could use companionship, help sorting out all these thoughts running through my head, frustrations.
And you feel, unless he's opened his eyes, you feel almost as if there's something moving across his body. And first of all, I don't know why we have adventure music, but we're going to change that. So I was trying to test out the... There we go.
No, William, just a little above the table.
Yes.
I'm a little conscious. I don't want to dominate too much time in this, right? I love this.
Yeah, no, I'm going to a stop point, and then we're gonna move there, because eventually we're actually going to be taking turns like this a little bit.
Okay.
But for now, what she does is she pretty much just says, there we go, honesty. I can help you with the mind. And she says, companionship. And she says, that is what you really need, isn't it? As she feels like something warm kind of moving across the skin. Not just pleasure, but something that comforts the mind, maybe eases these frustrations, maybe the frustrations of not knowing what to do. It seems like as if she's reading his mind in a sense. And she says, frustrations and thoughts running wild. I know that feeling well. I believe your mind is a battlefield right now, and you can't shut it off long enough to breathe. That's what I will help you with tonight, if you will allow me. And you feel a sense of the edge of the bed and the pressure as she sits down. And you can feel the softness of her skin, if you will allow me. And let me show you my skills, she says, as you feel slow hands, fingers, gently, almost as if asking permission to touch him, as she just kind of like as he's doing this meditation, she will try to ease any lingering tension on his shoulders at first as she speaks.
I imagine as she touches him, just the very first, there's just this physical recoil, just a jerk, just slight, like he's not accustomed to this, right? And then he takes a deep breath and tries to gather himself to allow the physical presence. Almost again, almost growl out.
And she, interestingly enough, while you feel her hands on the shoulder, you will also feel another sensation of almost, you can feel her skin, but then you realize that it's her tail that's actually kind of wrapped around his chest area. And it's not in a, it's not aggressive. It's just, again, almost as if asking, but it's helping, and you feel almost this ease of warmth that's actually starting to flower out from his chest where the tail is wrapping around, and says, and for the time being, she would sit there for another few minutes, allowing him, and then also easing any stress in his shoulders before she would eventually wait for him to open up communication, and they would start speaking. And that's where we're going to say, when Grumthar is ready to do that, that's what we'll say is going to happen until he would, unless you want to go deeper into the role play, until he falls asleep, which she would help him to fall asleep. And
just one other thing that's going through my head is he's sitting there, and we might recall that he had this clasp of Selah's, and he wore it around his neck on a leather thong, right? But when he was put into the fires, that lava that took all of his possessions, that leather clasp left a branding on his chest where it laid. So I could just see with this Ishara, each time she just gently probes a little bit deeper, just peeling away the layers of the onion, right? Peeling away those defenses. That one of those defenses is this inner struggle with he's bonding with this succubus, and he's coming to terms with Selah, letting her go, and eventually that branding, is figuratively burning on his chest. And finally, in a deep breath, he's able to relinquish that bond, that tether, let that guard down. Not that it goes away, but that he's come to peace with Selah not being there, no longer available to him, at least not in the mortal way. And it's not until he lets that go that he can really give himself over to Ashera to allow her to complete her process, whatever that is.
Yeah, she would actually be in that process to help that. If he would have opened up to that, she would have actually also been using her process and speaking to him. Because this succubi, he would have discovered she is very skilled in the art of communication and dig deep. Above table, she would almost be like that of a psychologist in a way, to be able to probe in there. But that's how good she would be.
Yeah, this would work particularly well if Grumthar didn't have to use his words, right? And I think he kind of alluded to the fact that she was almost a mentalist of sorts. She could pick up reading your thoughts.
Yeah.
Was that? Yeah.
Yeah, she has. Yeah, she has. Yeah, she's particularly. Yeah. She's good at what she's doing. Yeah, so he would yes, anything, and reading the language of the body and all that, because that's her particularities and her focus. And she would have guided through that process as well. Grumthar would have not done that alone. And then, of
Very
course,
good. I
there
like
would
it.
be more details to it. But eventually, that was what she would do until his frustrations eventually give him to the point where he would actually have a really good night's sleep.
Excellent.
And let me see here. The first person we're going to start with is also Mr. Tarnik. So Tarnik would have also slept, gotten a room, you said, over at the Sad Dog, you said. That he went over there to particularly sleep.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. So we're going to leave Grumthar for a little bit, and then we're going to move around the clock to everybody. And then we're going to... I don't know if I can find the Sad Dog Tavern now. There we go. So this one, the Sad Dog Tavern, we're going to put Grumthar, but it's going to be a little bit of theater of the mind. So Grumthar does go over to the tavern, and eventually, when it's time to sleep, at nighttime when he does arrive, the tables are not quite all the way filled like last time where everything was empty, but there are quite a few people here. There is music coming in from the back. The piano's playing, sometimes a lyre's playing, people singing. Some singing and about the things that are happening, that have happened to Polaria. But eventually when Tarnik retires, for some unknown reason, he actually has a good sleep. Be it whatever worries or stresses that he might have for some unknown fate that's going on out there, they seem to be melting away from him. And it feels like, kind of like that warm, fuzzy feel of whiskey hitting the brain and pretty much bringing it down to a more comforting level, which he doesn't understand why this is happening. And eventually, I'm kind of going to copy this. I'm going to go here. Eventually, he feels he is in deep sleep. He knows this. But wherever he's sleeping, the bed that he's on starts to float away. And as it floats away, it might feel to him that as he's flying, as this darkness is kind of lingering, but then he starts to see almost what seems to be like stars. And as he sees all these stars, things start to take shape. At first, it's large flames, and then possibly curtains. Everything seems just distorted in a way. And then finally, ground starts to materialize underneath him, and he seems to be standing in the center of some circle. Eye in the middle of this circle that is also drawn out like if it was a star that is in the center of. And you're standing right in the middle of the pupil of this eye that is drawn in white. And everywhere you look, it feels comforting here. But beyond the circle, beyond the veil of these purple draperies, you also see that there are shadows. But within those shadows, you see the edge of the light of this warm orange glow touching the woods, the trees beyond whatever this circle is. And above you, you see space. And almost wavers, like wavering space. And you are standing there. You don't have your armor, just sort of standing there, completely bare. But this is what you see.
That's awesome.
And for some time, you just linger there. But you almost sense this power starts growing in you out of nowhere. You feel yourself learning. You feel yourself that imagination of going through maybe battles and seeing it in your mind, maybe talking and seeing it in your mind. You see the last conversation with Grom. You even start imagining what he was talking about. You probably see in the past, in the arena, back when you first started, you see Silen. You see the adventures you had with her. You see the other elves that died, but you also see Grom with you. Then you see Bordak, then Grumthar. You see the various different people that came and went, and all these flash in your mind. But at the same time as this is happening, you feel yourself grow in power for some reason. You feel that you have somehow gained some sort of blessing, possibly. And as this is happening, what is Tarnik currently doing while he's here, standing in the middle of this?
Well, going by the way you described it, he would start off angry because he still harbours ill intent towards Silen. He still believes that she should have died back in the arena. But then when he thinks of Grom and Bordak and everyone else, that feeling dissipates. And he's looking around this room in hope. He thinks maybe the Ganosh is coming to visit him, but he can't place it because of the strange symbols and this strange rune. Did I say all that with you, Tom? Did I? Oh no.
Oh no. You're good.
Yeah.
And eventually, from the north, you see a figure walking, soft padding, coming toward you. And as eventually you start seeing her walk into the light, standing by a tree maybe. As she stands there, leans against it, watching. Kind of studies the tree for a while, looking at it. It seems like her mouth moves. She's still quite a few feet away, but you can see now clearly. And you see this image, and then her face turns toward you. And what you see, if I can put it in there and get it correctly. Let's see. What you see is this female orc. Quite different from maybe the northern orcs. She's more, her features are changed a bit more. You can see her skin, but her features of the face are not quite how most orcs are presented in the north. Possibly in the south, plus there's rumors that southern orcs, for the most part,
Gave up their
do what now?
gave up their tusks.
Yeah, and a lot of them also, after so many years of capturing enemies and bringing them from elves and human lands and all stuff's changed. But you don't know quite sure if this fits this one. As you see her look back that way, and then she starts walking further toward you, or closer to you, and you realize that you've seen her before somewhere, and she is the one that warned you, talked to you about the battle with Orcantisma and the anger that Gonash had. And she walks up straight to you. She looks at you. She almost just stands waiting to see what Tarnik does, almost as if she's studying.
Yeah. Tarnik remembers that he has seen her face before, and he remembers that situation, and he drops to one knee and he bows his head in front of her. He doesn't say anything though.
And because he had a thought, you hear her voice, and it echoes almost everywhere and yet nowhere. And says, Tarnik, my warrior, still carrying that blade of hatred I see, after all that we conversed and all that I told you. And then you see, once again, images flood through his mind of Silent possibly standing over Grom's corpse, screaming in grief. You never saw this, but you see an image of it. You see of her bargaining her soul away. You see Grom out of nowhere gasping back to life. You also do see, though, Silent firing her crossbow at Lysara. And possibly your axe swinging and biting into her for some unknown reason. And then you see also going back of Silent dying. And though you didn't see it, but you also see her soul plummeting into the 9 hells. And she says, not quite in like a question, but she just looks. She says, look at them, Tarnik. Really look. What do you see? And then you see almost an image of Silent. It's like strange to Tarnik because it's almost frozen in time of her shooting at Lysara. It says, this is where some of that anger lives, isn't it? She attacked my sister. She showed disrespect to divine authority, perhaps. She deserved punishment. And then you see the image that zooms in. You see all sorts of emotions of Silent's face twisted in rage and grief and tears. But what you were not seeing is the moment. And then you see time strangely rewind, as if Tarnik is standing in this scene now, away from where he was a moment ago. And it shows Grom's withered body for some reason. His body also being now kicked off the roof. Sees and starts feeling emotions he's never felt before. Possibly from Silent, watching as the Minotaur she loves almost die. It shows her raising the crossbow with shaking hands. And you see images of Tarnik back where there was a clan that used to be his. Dead bodies. You see the many more dead bodies of elves. But you see Tarnik as a child who doesn't quite understand everything. And then the two images kind of pushing together. Silent, not understanding everything. And then you see small Tarnik not understanding anything. Young Tarnik. And and you see another image now, and zooms away, and you see an image of an elf you've never seen before, about the same age as Tarnik is when his clan died. And you see this elf with rage. You see her crying as a sword is buried into the ground, and you actually see what maybe have been weeks that have passed, maybe after Tarnik had left, or you see something of grief as well, of a need for vengeance. You see this elf crying out to the gods, saying that if the orcs have never tried to go after them, have never tried to enslave them again, had never brought them to this land, this would have never had happened. She would have never had lost her parents and all her friends and family that died in that raid. You see her alone, and you see her promising vengeance and to forever hate orcs, because the orcs took away her family, took away her brother, her sister, took away everyone. And you see her clenching her fists, and then it vanishes, and you're back standing where she is, where Veilra stands, and says, "And this, your solution, control, domination." And she looks down. My father would be proud. My father would raise you to be this creature of pure rage, hate, and considering to be doing what is right by your clan. And says, the orcs have always been taking elf lands and humans, and for some time, thousands of years, revisiting that which I told you. They were enslaved because Gonash, my father, pushed this. But it wasn't a war that was ever intended for orcs and humans and elves and dwarves. For there was a greater god, greater than all of them, that exists now in this pantheon, that existed, that created this world, that allowed the civilizations to exist, and they were meant to exist together. Orcs and humans possibly working together because they were the shortest lived of the races, while elves and dwarves lingered on. But there was a battle of gods before this, when the great god took the throne of the pantheons, when all the other prime entities took a knee and were meant to honor. But Gonash, in his anger, fueled this hatred that was never meant for the orcs, fueled it in the ancient times before even New Zealand came into being by the great goddess Persephone, a remnant of that great god. For it wasn't for that great god, this world would have never existed. But because Hexerium and Gonash and Sargaganes all were angered by pride that they should be the best, that they should be the ones to rule over this world, war was ingrained into orcs. War was ingrained into other creatures, bugbears, even the drow, far off from the ideas of the Spider Queen. In this world, all this is the manipulation that started so many eons ago. And then the enslavement of different races brought, not but how you think that they were here to conquer your land, to take over, but they were brought here against their will from the homes that they loved, enslaved, and you took a survivor of slavery and enslaved her yourself. You took someone fighting to protect people she loved and failed, and made her into property, or at least tried. As I said, my father would be proud of you for that. Gonash does believe in dominance, in crushing the weak, enforcing obedience through pain and chains. And if that's truly the warrior you want to be, as you go against Anam, though he may be different and not a god, separate of Gonash, he embodies those qualities. You see, his true name is Arcular. He used to be a paladin of light. But it was Gonash and Hagsirium that went after his family, because they were all fighting against the great god. And through that, anger, because there was no great god to protect Arcular's family, both his children and wife were taken. Through his pride, he vowed to destroy everything that ever meant anything to the great god. And yes, that is including you, Tarnik, orcs, humans, elves, all creatures that came into life. So you must understand, it is greater than hatred that this group must surpass in order to go against Anam. Anam knows the pieces of hate and how to merge them together in order to take each group down. And if you cannot look past that hatred and pain of your past and learn from it to rise to the challenge to take on Anam, this group will fail. Just like the group that failed to stop him in the first age that was destroyed. It was Gonash that your clan worshipped. And yet, it was Gonash who wasn't there when the clan fell. And it was also through my hands that saved you some survivability against Orcantisma, but it was Gonash who had sent him to you because of the pride to not be disrespected. I understand far more than my father thinks. I see through the illusions of lies and pride and hate. She says, I come to you and I have blessed you and your group with power to give you an edge for what you are about to face. You work with this demon from the abyss. I know her well. She wishes to change her nature. It is the same as the orcs. People believe they have only a certain nature, and that is to follow by Gonash's ideals of dominance and crushing the weak. But I believe if Crimvia was able to turn away from this, was able to change some parts of that nature, not completely, but somewhat, able to guide it to where she can live within humans in a human world that hates them, but now uses them as allies and starting to see a different light. I believe that you can do this as well. You can rise above it, Tarnik, and I am willing to guide you through it, if you let me. But you're still clinging to this anger, this need to punish, be it Silent or other elves, for just the simple fact of surviving, for fighting back, for loving someone more than she feared death. I think that you can rise beyond this, Tonic. And I think that you have done it in this group. You've done it with Cub. You've done it by giving authority of leadership to Grumthar. You've even accepted Saz in it, as Sapari, those who think themselves higher and more supreme in any race. And now you are showing it that you have the capability, at least for survivability right now, in the human lands. But what you are not doing is learning and seeing the awareness of what can be. Perhaps the South can change. Perhaps you can learn and open your mind and not let anger guide you, or hate, or that in the past. Learn from the past, but don't let it dwell. And she steps back. The choice is yours. But you do have my gift. It is up to you if you will decide that the cycle of hate and domination will continue. Or will you break them? Choose wisely. The gods are watching. And remember, so is Grom. Fighting through hell for the one you can't forgive, and this wasn't even in her fate. And with that, you see her falling away, wisping away, and disappearing. And finally, you see the light and glow of this area start to vanish and dissipate into a whisper as darkness comes to linger again. And then you are floating back, and you feel, in a sense, that you are still asleep, but you know somehow that you are back in the room in the Sad Dog Tavern.
Just before she leaves and everything fades back to the tavern, he'd call out gently and softly, so not raising his voice or anything. And he'll say, "This is the path I have already chosen. I have redirected my hate to this Anom and his accursed armies. I will work with the elves. I will work with the dwarves. I will work with the humans. And most importantly, I will work with my clan and bring them up to the level that needs to be reached."
And with that, he feels a warmth and close around him. A sense of, well, you can almost sense a pressure that seems to be more of happiness than anything else. A positive thought as he swims back into his bed, floating back into it. And really, after that conversation, he has some of the best sleep he's ever had. And with that, we're going to jump now. Saz, as you are also sleeping in the room, you also start to feel a sense of floating. A sense of the room falling away from you. And eventually, you start to feel that while you were in this darkness of sleep, you are not in a room again. Or you are in a different location, at least. And similar, you see that the fires of orange glow start appearing, and this ground, the same eye, starts lingering beneath you, within a circle of this star. And then, let's go ahead and grab we're going to put you hear. Right in the center. Saz, you see all this shaping around you as the darkness fades away, and you seem to, as if you're opening your mind, and the darkness keeps floating away as this keeps happening. And you see this area, these stars above you, they seem to be wavering in this night sky, and these glowing little dots swimming about you in this area. What does Saz do when he arrives here?
The first thing Saz would do is probably try to detect magic. See if his spells work at all.
To see if his spells work, you do actually notice them work. They seem to be no...
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just saying, there seems to be nothing that's hindering them at all whatsoever.
Then he would definitely probably walk around a little bit around the edge of the eye, that circle, and cast detect magic while looking around the room, because this is new.
If he does detect magic, he is a very bright area. But what he realizes is this magic, this whole entire area is magical, has that aura. It fades and eases into his sight, so it doesn't burn it, but it is somehow in the back of his mind, he realizes that this is divine in nature. It is not of the world that he was sleeping in.
He'll probably exhale hard and go, "Oh joy! Looks like we're in for a rough night."
And you do see a figure. She starts walking in from the north. And you hear the voice almost in all directions again. And she has a directness this time, but it says, Saz Sapari, exile, outcast. And you finally see her walk out, and go ahead and put her here. Depending on which part of the map you walk to, she would probably head whatever direction. In that direction. I don't know if you moved to one side or the other.
They probably would have gone from forward to the left side, so...
Oh, okay. So, yeah, she would just stand and face him. And she says, I am the mistress of illusions. I see through every mask. And she says, so there is no need to hide yourself, the truth of who you are, with me. And she will walk around him and say, what do you believe in, Saz? What do you believe the future holds for you?
This one does not hold much faith in what a god would call the future. As you have already stated, this one is an outcast, heretic, forsaken by their own species. The future is rather bleak.
She looks over and says, "But why is it bleak? Is it because you accept that fate? Is it because you accept that you are an outcast? Why should anyone follow what a culture deems to be truth when there are other doors that can be opened? Is it that what you want, or is it something else?"
One is still trying to find that out.
She thinks for
I separated from them, hoping to find something else. But I still hear it.
She stands there and she says, "What is it that you hear? Tell me."
Voices. The urge to maim, to kill, subjugate.
Says, yes. That. And she looks up into the sky and says, "The nature of things and how they affect each one of us differently. Some that core bites deep into our minds, pulling like a chain. But for you, you feel it, but you have gone so far. You had fought it still, yet, because you are greater than that call. I do not believe that the future should be bleak. I believe the future is whatever you make of it, though that word and phrasing has been used. There is a certain truth to the quality, strength of the character, strength to learn and have the awareness to do it. This group that you have joined, I have been watching for some time, and it is not by coincidence that has come together. It is not one certain god that can have things fall into motion, but a pantheon of gods. We call it the invisible hand of the gods. I think by all that you have at least learned being with this group, you understand that there is something even beyond your culture, even beyond the Sarpari, that will try to destroy this world. And you might have not known this. Sarpari, in their culture, yes, this is something that must be unlearned. Sarpari do believe they are supreme, possibly so. However, being supreme is not what's going to save them should this Ocular, the Withered One, Anam, the destroyer of the first age, succeed. That would be a bleak future. Because not only should you be destroyed by the culture of the Sarpari and whatever they believe in, but souls will be vanquished. Souls could possibly leave this world and go into the hell or the abyss. An eternity of suffering? I don't believe that even you can imagine the pain of a soul and the hells and eternity, a small aspect of this time is meaningless compared to the ability to even conceive what an eternity would be. But it can be changed. You can be changed if you wish. You may think that the future is bleak, but I'm here to say that I do not wish to interfere into any of the choices that you make. I do not wish to tell you words, because even I am only in the domain of illusions. I can only speak to what I know. The domain of the future belongs to other gods. And also to you, as I said, depending on what you choose. You have some power to steer. I do not say to be afraid of what may come, but I can tell you this. Am I asking you to help this group? Yes. Be it my selfish ways? Probably. But I know what will happen to this world. Do I do it out of my own fear that I would vanish or be banished from this world into nothingness? Yes. So I too have my fears, and I can say that the world will be hopeless, but I'm choosing to fight, choosing to increase my awareness. Saz, I know that you have a different path and ideal, and I know where you stand. Confused in this world, confused from where you are. But you do not have to be alone. I believe that this group can be a new, let's say, family. You can belong again. You do not have to be an outcast, simply an outcast from the Serpari that you do not belong in. Says, I am also willing to stand by you. You probably do not trust gods or the words of them, and I'm not here in order to make you trust me. I'm just here to tell you what I can do. I am going to choose this group. I'm going to choose them to be my champions, if they would have me. And the reason I'm doing this is because all of them have some sort of block in their mind. All of them have some sort of challenge. A challenge for you that is even greater than tonics trying to blend into this world. You are coming into it from absolutely knowing nothing of being around humans except for maybe being food. And you were able to hold yourself back, aware that some things might go badly should you consume one of these humans. And she kind of smirks a little bit, looking at the ground and looking back up at you. But all decisions still lie on you. Saz, what is your greatest fear?
You are right about one thing. This one does not trust gods. Their words are lies, warped to help them achieve their ends. Mortals are playthings, nothing more than a toy to amuse themselves. I will not refuse power that you give to me as a means to an end, but I will not be used to an end of your design. What do I fear? I fear becoming a puppet again. I fear losing who this one is. I fear that all of this effort I have gone through to not be the monster will be lost. I'll be lost.
He says, then, yes. The illusion of being lost. And I'm not asking you to get lost. I'm not saying you should change. And I respect that. I too believe that gods see mortals as playthings. We gods must have mortals in order to have power. It's a link that works both ways. Gods must protect their worshippers. Worshippers must exist for gods to have the power. This is what all gods and mortals strive for, in a sense. You have your reasons for choosing your path. I don't want you to lose who you are. And this is exactly why I told you that I have my ends. Use my power. I respect the truth that you speak to me. I will not try to force you in any way. I will never try to lie. I will not give you half words. My mission is to stop Anam. My mission is to separate myself from the ideals of my father. My ideals do not align with him. So I, myself, in some way, would become an outcast once he finds out, and he will find out. And also, mine is to give you these powers and the group solely to stop Anam. That is my main focus. And that's all I am giving you. But also, that chance. Find, and do not lose yourself, but find the path that you need in order to survive. And perhaps this group can be one of those paths to remain with. You do not need to be alone. And if should need my help, I will be around. And I do not expect for you to believe my words. Keep believing that they are lies. I have no qualms showing you who I am through my actions, Saz. And then she will start walking away. And as she does this, you see the darkness start enveloping you again as everything else starts to fade and disappear. And then eventually you feel yourself back in the room. You know that you are still sleeping, but at least you are, depending on how he sleeps, either in the bed or on floor or how he's curled up. However he sleeps, that's what he would feel underneath him. And with that, we're going to... Oh, but you would feel the power as you sleep. You sense that there is some sort of energy and learning and strengthening of yourself. And then we're going to jump over to Mr. Narzag.
Nice.
You are sleeping, and I would assume
So,
If
I changed my. It's Sad Dog Tavern. I'll do the same in the same Sad Dog Tavern because my bird doesn't disappear.
Oh, okay. You would be at the Sag Dog Tavern. Okay. You would be in one of the also one of the rooms.
Yes.
Okay. Same instance. As you are sleeping, you feel yourself pulled away from the bed. Same as the rest, as the images of these flames start lingering and appearing and pushing away the darkness. We're going to put you right in the middle of this eye. Well, maybe. Possibly. Right. See here. Sorry. Going back and forth here. All right. So with you, you also appear here. You look around, and right before you is already standing this female orc. And you see this entire area, the draperies of purple and the flames and these lights of like starry wisps floating about you. And of course the trees beyond the walls. And you see this orc female standing in front of you, looking at you. What does Narzak do when he arrives here?
Well, first I want to cast guidance on myself, and then do a religion check
All right, you can roll.
if I can.
Yeah, go for it.
D4 wouldn't even help. 6. I have no idea where I'm at. I have no idea what this orc female is. Where's my bird?
She says, sleeping safely. She says, hello, Narsag. You might not know who I am. But, wait. Who does Narzak follow?
Milithara. Millie,
Oh, excellent.
the goddess of beast.
She says, but I know your goddess, Milithara. Her and I have spoken many times. I am the goddess of illusions, and the orc pantheon, as mortals would call it. And she smiles at him. Says, I am here in order to give you a blessing of mine. And I'm not asking you to follow me. But I think that this group has potential since you found them. It says, I can give you some power in order to proceed forward to where you will be at least encountering certain aspects of the Withered One.
What's this Wither one?
He is a very powerful and evil enemy. He is the one that controls most of these devils that you are seeing around the world.
Is he a devil?
He is an undead, but he does control the devils.
Out of character DM, that's my second favorite enemy, undead.
Nice.
So my hunter monk is stronger against them. Excuse me.
Okay.
Nothara just guided me. Yes.
He says, if you are willing to accept my blessing and increase your powers, I would be happy to help you achieve this goal of fighting these devils and undead.
I'm keeping my eyes on her.
So what say ye?
I don't need no powers.
He says, you don't need powers? I can respect
Nothara.
that.
Nothara gives me what I need.
She smiles. Indeed, she does. And indeed that I have spoken to her. Think of it, if you wish, powers that would be granted by her through me. But you must accept it, if you want them or not. I will not force it upon you, Nazak.
My strength comes from the beast. I do not need no other god. I believe one wise one says you cannot serve two masters.
And that is indeed a wise one. I am not asking you to serve me. I am simply giving you a gift. Milithara is your goddess, not I. But it is a final decision if you do not wish for my gifts. I can respect that, Narzak.
Would it be a wisdom check or a wisdom saving throw?
For trying to
A
understand?
decision
Probably be a wisdom. A wisdom check.
check.
Yeah. If you want to do a DC. What is his? Let me see.
I have a +4. I'm at 18 because my beasts are based off of my wisdom.
Let me see what his
Saying my name and not Narzak when I roll a 20. Wait, D&D
Okay, so
go.
he's rolling for to see if he wants to do what?
Yeah, it accepting a gift. It's a little like fishy to him right now.
Okay. Yeah, I would say
And
if he wants to do that because he has a high wisdom and he also has a high intelligence.
Do I roll an intelligence?
No, I mean he can roll wisdom. If
Which
he
one's
wishes. See, that's
risen?
Do what now?
Which is reason? Is it the wisdom or intelligence?
I always kind
Kind of
of
sounds like an insight check to me.
yeah.
You're trying to,
Oh.
if you're trying to determine if it's a shady type of offering.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's much better. Unless I rolled that.
So insight to see if she's lying to you is what you're trying to do.
I'm trying to pick out why is she giving this gift. No one just gives gifts for something. There's always a cost for something, even in nature.
If you should trust her, right?
Yeah.
Um.
Even in nature, the beast kills for food, but they never kill for sport.
Yeah, but it depends on how you want to play your character in that sense. If you're going to ask her or if you want to roll by dice. It's depending on how you want to do it. If you want to keep the insight or role play it out. Asking. You don't necessarily have to explain it. I understand how it's going, but it's up to you how you want to role play it.
I lived a very long time in the woods, and I learned you don't trust gifts given out, what's the cost?
She looks about and stands and says, "You always despise the free meal. That is a rule in the world. And I can respect that. I applaud your awareness of this, Narsag. I'm not beholden you to any pact. That is not my way. As I've
And what
told,
is this
if I-
gift going to do?
And it says, it's going to increase your learning. It's going to increase your... Let's say if you were playing a game of sorts, by which you could only consider levels, level 1 being the weakest, this would increase in your power levels. She smiles at you, but she says, this would increase your powers faster than perhaps spending months to learn skills. You would be more proficient quickly. This is what I'm willing to give you, for the reason that these devils are planning to swarm Solar. They're planning to attack cities. They have already attacked orc cities in the south, knowing that there would be the ones more akin to dealing and working together with the rest of the world. So the reason behind
What do you get out handing these gifts out?
saving the world, bringing down Anon, giving you the tools to destroy him, and thus saving my worshippers.
Ah, there it is. And you are the goddess of...
As I said, I am the goddess of illusions. But I work in the domain of using illusions and disrupting them in order to reveal truths hidden behind them. I work in the world by dismantling the illusions that people give themselves in order to reveal truths and paths that will better help them.
Illusion sounds like lies.
They are lies.
Why would one lie to themselves? It makes no sense to me.
Exactly. Many lie to themselves, depending on what they have felt, be it through emotions or experiences or loss, denial sometimes. And that's why I'm there to guide them from the shadows. I use illusions as well, but my illusions are meant in order to help them break free of those lies they tell themselves. You may not understand this quite yet, but the situation is, should these undead and devils come through all these portals, and anon this withered one, the Lich of Great Evil, decide to combine both devils and demons once more, like he did in the first age, then that's the end of this world once more. All gods lose worshippers, including yours. Milithera's followers will dwindle. Mine will dwindle. Go-Noshes, Persephonas, all these gods of different lands, their worshippers will be gone. And there are other things in movement. They will be banished. Your goddess would be banished. So this is why I'm giving you gifts, so in return I can survive. But it's up to you if you wish to accept it or not.
Yes, I know survival. Yes, I will accept your gift then. Thank you for explaining it.
He says, excellent. Then the gift is yours.
But on the question of banishment, couldn't someone just resummon them again?
No, unfortunately
Then again,
not.
a mortal being able to summon it. That'd be pretty powerful, wouldn't they?
There are certain artifacts that once they are banished, they will not be returning. What is that? I thought I put my dog outside.
God. Oh my God, my dogs.
Wait.
The outside dogs are barking. Holy shit.
I thought you were a Beastmaster.
Yes.
But she'll walk over, and you feel the power of the goddess as she grants you this gift. But she does explain that once the gods are banished, no, not with this artifact, they cannot be summoned. Nothing can bring them back. And there are artifacts that are going to be used by Anam in order to completely destroy them. But she'll start walking back and says, all right, Narzag, enjoy your sleep. I look forward to our future confrontations together against this evil that will try to destroy the world once more. I will say, next time, look forward to speaking with your goddess. And with that, she'll start walking away.
I speak with her every day.
Indeed. And with that, you feel yourself woozing back. Kind of woozy. Feeling a little dizzy there, but then it settles and you feel yourself. Even though you're sleeping, you feel yourself back where you started. Where you were sleeping.
Do I click the long rest to restore my spell slots?
You can if you wish. I mean, everybody's taking a long rest right now, so if anybody needs a long rest, they can. Yeah. All right. Next and final. Sorry, this is all taking quite a while, but it's something that is happening with everybody. And then, so we're gonna jump over to Cub.
Yes.
And as you were sleeping in your room, within the Naked Maiden's Tavern, nice and comfy after maybe having some drink, remembering the nice party that you were at. You're pretty cool, man. And resting. Deep in that slumber and darkness, you will also start to feel yourself almost floating, and you think that maybe it's the drink. I don't know if you would have, I don't know if you had like cure that poisons or whatever, but you would feel your self floating eventually. Don't feel the bed anymore. And then you feel pressure at the bottom of your feet, even though you're laying down. But then the image of these fires, these flames, orange and warmth permeating around you, you see this area. And we're going to put you right in the middle. Also, for Nazag, you can give yourself a heroic inspiration if you don't already have one. But
I have never used mine.
Oh, well, there you go. For Cub, you see this female orc. I don't think you've ever seen her before. So you see this female orc walking from the north. Almost like this drapery, like a large drapery door-like. What the hell do they call it? Threshold? Oh my god, I already forgot. I can't think. But anyway, she walks through and kind of steps, just stays there. What is Cub doing as you see this person walk up, and then she just kind of lingers and stops? Because of you knowing things, you would sense that you are somewhere within a divine realm. You can feel it and sense it coursing through your body.
Since I know it is a divine, I'm gonna be like, it's like, and I see this orc, right?
Yeah, she's just standing there. She walked from the north and just walked and just now stopped, just looking at you, but not with any aggression or anything. Just kind of
It's
looking
like,
at you.
I go ahead and I'll prepare a I'll cast a starry wisp, but like not to throw it, but like have it at ready. And I look at her, it's like, you're not my goddess.
She says, "No, I am not. But I know
Then
Sotia." She says,
it's like, why have you pulled me back? Why have you pulled me in this realm? I don't belong here. The realm I should be is in the realm of dreams.
then she looks over, confused, and says, "This would be the realm of dreams. I work through the realm of dreams. And that's how I am able to pull people into my domain. Dreams can sometimes fall into the realm of illusions as well." And says,
But
"You-
not the dreams that I have.
And what dreams are those?"
I am under Sophia. These dreams are supposed to be inherited by the lands. I don't see the fields.
And she walks him out. "No, you do not see the fields here. Though, if you wish to go to the fields, I can bring you there. But,"
Who are you?
says, "I am the Mistress of Illusions. And, as I said, I know your goddess Zotia. We speak much as well. She, along with a few other gods, are the ones that I usually converse with the happenings of the world. And we have also discussed you, Cub. I see that she has hopes for you as well. But I wish for those hopes to come to fruition, the hopes that she has for you. And those will not come into fruition with the current timing of what's happening with this withered one." Says, "I assume you know who this withered one is?" By now, at least.
You know, you're talking to someone who has no memory of anything in life. I know of him. But if you're trying to ask for a history record or anything about him, you're barking up the wrong tree.
And she looks and she laughs at that. And she says, "No. But with recent events, you should at least know and heard of who you're going after currently with your group. Anam, this withered one. You currently destroyed one of his plans with the capture of one of the devil commanders, an eeriness that is now in Crinvius chambers. The one who wishes to destroy the world once more. And says, "Tell me, Cub, do you wish, in order to help this group, to defeat Anam? Or are you one that simply likes to attack people constantly, like you attack Tonic and Grumthal with your quick wit and mouth, I suspect? I know that you somehow have sort of maybe anger because you cannot remember, but that domain belongs to Zotia. And as I said, I do wish that her goals come to fruition, but at the moment, danger from Anam lingers on. What is it that you are wanting, Cub? For you, currently.
I want to remember everything that happened.
She thinks.
I hate being a person with no memory.
She looks over and she says, "Are you sure you want this? I have the ability to destroy illusions. I can give you those memories. Zotia may not be happy about it, though."
I want to remember ever since when I met Grom and he came back again. He expressed some kind of feeling of, I believe it's guilt. And I keep getting the visions, and it's just plaguing me and plaguing me. It's why I keep, kind of why all my quit whips to the group is, I do that to them because I don't know what it is. It's my safety net.
She says, and she looks at you with a sense of understanding and says, "I understand that. I do not usually break the domains of other gods. I believe what is happening is very serious. I've discussed it with Zotia. Her name goes by Ishuel here in these lands. I've also tried to talk to other greater gods, but all of them are following what is called the Accord. Gods are not meant to interfere into mortal. Mortals are supposed to come into their own path. Persephone made this concord between all the gods, but being the mistress of illusions, I can bypass, go through the cracks, per se. As I said, I can give you memories back, but it will change certain perspectives, Cub. I do not have you as one that worships me. You worship Zotia. She knows you better than I do. I am not here in order to step on that. I am here in order to try to help your group achieve what I consider to be important in defeating this evil. Let me ask you a question. You said that you do not have memories of anything, but yet you do remember Silent. You remember the day that you woke up without these memories. Everything that you are currently, the personality that's been shaped by the memories that you have now. Aren't those important to you? Aren't those ideas of silence or those that you care about? Because there has to be some sort of care for you to be able to heal the way that you do. If I were to tell you that by opening these memories, they could change that and change the path and course that you are set on. Because they would come too quickly before you learn who your true nature is, who you truly are within that heart of yours. Though you have this shell, in order to deflect or in order to give fast quips to your group, I believe that you still care. If I were to give you these memories back and this changes you, are you willing to accept that?
So, if I take those memories and add it with the memories that I have now, will I maintain myself and keep on the path of Zotia?
That is actually what I'm asking you. Do you think you would? Do you have enough care in your heart to overcome what has happened in the past? It seems that almost everyone in this group has some lingering things from the past that they must overcome. Your past has just been kept and hidden away from you. And there is a reason why. Because you are searching for that truth. You are searching for who you really are. But if that floodgate is opened too quickly, I fear that what Zotia may fear, that you may think that that is what you are from your past, not when all that flooding of memories comes in, it overtakes what your true heart tells you. If you are willing to chance that and let the flood come in instead of trickle by trickle, I'm asking you, do you think that you are strong enough to not be overwhelmed by what you may think and what would be an illusion of what you see yourself as with these memories? Because these memories do shape ourselves in some way.
You said you go through dreams, right? Tell me, did you go through all my other companions?
It says, I did. I cannot give you my gift without it being accepted in some way.
And so everyone accepted your gift, right?
Not yet. I have one more to visit.
Let me guess, it's the thief chick, huh?
No, not her. I've already visited with her. She is somewhat... she has an illusion of pride still, but I think I got through her. Maybe she might accept in the future. No, you're... Well, who Tonic proclaimed as leader? She smiles. Grumtha. And I will also be visiting someone that is not currently in this domain, but because he went back quickly, a little... well, dangerous. Your friend Grom.
And you know what? Let's do it. Screw everything, okay? I don't care if Zotia gets mad at me or not. I want to know who I am, but I'm not going to let it change me, because I'm going to stay faithful to her no matter what. She has been there every step of the way, and every single one of them, as much as these idiotic orcs like Tarnik and Grumthar and everybody and Volsa, as annoying and stupid that they can be, so Tia has told me to stay with them. And nothing's going to change that. So I will stay with them, and I will still be their healer. I am tired of having these fears again, of these feelings of guilt and everything.
What's this?
So if Zotia will be mad at me, then let her be mad with me. But I will stay faithful to her.
Says, oh no, Sotia won't be mad at you, Cub. She does her best in order to protect her followers and be one with them and loves all her followers. She will, however, be mad with me, but that is something that I am willing to face. Zotia and I work in the same realm of the Orc Union. I think it would be fine eventually. If you do promise to remain yourself, it might be a different story. If you change, she though looks at you and gives you a reassuring smile, but I believe that in your heart you will remain true. I think you have just been dealt a bad hand, as the god of fortune would say, or the god of fate. Both of them I always get confused. And she walks over to you. Are you certain? As she kind of reaches a hand and kind of places a palm above your head.
One more moment. I know whatever you're gonna attempt to do is gonna mess with my psyche. So that's gonna mess up with my mind itself. So that's gonna mess up with my insights, my thoughts itself, and everything. So I'm going to give myself a boost towards my psyche or my wisdom, or to stand my ground to it.
And she says, all right. Well then, when you're ready, I will break the illusion of memories and loss, and the flood of your past will.
And when I do that, if I stay true to myself, then I'll ask for your power, along with my friends.
I suppose that is the wise thing to do. She smiles. It'd be interesting to use my powers when you may not be yourself. Good thinking, Cub. As I said, it's in your nature. And she puts her hand on your head, closes her eyes.
When she does that, I go, Tia, forgive me, but I ask for your strength.
And as this happens, you feel a surge of energy as you can sense your mind being pierced by the power and abilities. And you see images start to flood. And you feel yourself almost as if you are going back in time. But as this is happening, we're going to stop right there for you, and we're going to jump over to Grumthar. for right now.
All right.
Alright. So with Grumthar in his room, after the discussions that they had, the conversation, he actually feels a little bit more at ease, at least. For whatever Ashara was able to do, she has good skills in communicating. Perhaps a little bit of touch and releasing the chakras, in a sense. Easing Grumthar for some time, a feeling that he has not felt. And he is actually sleeping with the tail of the succubus and her arms wrapped around him. It actually gives him some sort of almost vibe of ease and relaxation as she does this. But that feeling seems to start to float away, and eventually floating into darkness until your eyesight finally starts to see these flames, and the darkness is pushed away. And you are now standing in the middle of this eye. And you see a female further to the north standing in the middle. But as I copy paste your token, what is Grumthar doing currently?
He is disoriented. He's feeling this calmness. This. It's almost an energy that he hasn't been able to control. A powerfulness about him. It's like your muscles are tense and always in spasm, and now they've been released and free. He feels like he could, a dexterity that he's never felt before, and yet as he comes to grips with his physical being, he realizes is this a dream? His companion seems to no longer be with him, and he misses that comfort, that warmth, and he looks around, and this room, is this a dream? He looks around. Where am I?
And you hear,
Gosh, where have you taken me?
and as this is happening, you hear a voice permeating from all around. It says, "Welcome, Grumthar. This is not the domain of Gonash, but feel at ease. You are still within the comfort of the demon. She still rests with you, and if she can give you rest, then I see no harm." As you see this female walking forward, and she steps out of the shadows and says, "I am Veilra. I am the mistress of illusions. My father is Gonash. My sister, Lysara, who you might remember from the ruins of the dead." And she walks about here and then kind of stops, seeing what Grumthar does.
So, you are the mistress of illusions. Tell me, what is real? What is not real?
She says, "Of course. But it's a broad question. What specifically do you wish to know of what is real and what is illusion?"
I have so many. My companion, Ashara, has put me greatly at ease with my pressures, my past, my responsibilities. Which of these responsibilities, life, family, fate, which of these pressures are real? Which of them should take priority? Which of them are meaningless? I have this honor to my family, to my father, to my clan, to my grandfather. These pressures of being a great warrior, of providing for my clan, but maintain relationship with my family. I have the pressure of leading this group, somehow defeating this withered one, Amon. I don't know. To pursue them all is overwhelming. I don't know which is real, which is an illusion. Can you tell me what is real? What is an illusion?
Well, she stands there listening. Says, which is real? Grumthar. They are all real. And that in itself is what creates the problem and why you are stressed and feel the pressure of it. For if they were not real, why would there be any worry or stress? She seems to point, and where she points, as if Grumthar follows that path and he gazes down, you actually do see a path that emerges into what used to be at least his family farm. And this one: honor your family, provide for your clan, marry, have children, continue the Ironfire line. Your father's dream for you? And then she points to another path. And in that path, you see like a veil splitting in this realm of what looks to be like your grandfather's weapons glowing. This one: pursue your grandfather's legacy. Become the great warrior he never got to see you become. Prove that you are worthy to Stormgorge or Whisperfang. And then you see her point to another path, and you see it open where the party is standing together. This one: lead Bazgoth, protect your companions, guide them through impossible odds. And then she points to another one, and in this one, though Grumthar may not feel that rage happening right now, this one opens the veil, and you see a large missing skull, its rotten flesh peeling and falling off, its bloodied bones beneath. You see the red pins of its eyes within the dark sockets glaring at you, and it seems that it actually pierces into you, and you feel almost the hairs of your back rise and neck and goosebumps. And says, this one: defeat the withered one, save all of Solaire, become the hero of legend. And then this one, and then that image, he feels almost that fear, even though he's used to raging and pushing aside such things. But It fades as she points to another direction and the veil opens. You see the image of Selah. It says, "This one, never forget her, honor her memory. Refuse to move forward until you found closure." And you see her turn toward you, Veilra does, and she spreads her arms, kind of encompassing the entirety of all these veils that are lingering around him. They're all real, Grumthar, every single one. And you are trying to walk them at once. Says, and her voice actually becomes more intense. "Do you know what my father would tell you? Gonash would say, choose the path of strength. Crush your enemies. Become the greatest warrior. Everything else is weakness." And she steps closer. "But I'm not my father. And I would tell you what he never could. You cannot walk every path. Some of them may contradict each other. Some of them will demand you abandon the others, and trying to pursue them all simultaneously will tear you apart. And if he allows, she's going to walk closer and try to put a hand on his chest.
Yeah, he allows it.
So she places this on his chest, and without him realizing, maybe his heart might be thrumming, but it would relax, and everything else would start to feel like almost like a calming of emotions that maybe he hadn't really felt. And another layer of distress seems to peel away. Says, "You ask me which is real, which is right path, but you're asking the wrong question." And then her voice softens. "The right question is not, which path should I walk? The right question is, which of these paths am I walking for myself, and which am I walking because I think I'm supposed to?" And you can see, as she's holding her palm against your chest, that it's almost like a swirl around him. These different emotional colors start pulsating around him. The family farm with duty and obligation seems to be like a brown and gray, and then the grandfather's legacy pulses. Pride and pressure is a red and gold, and of course the Bazgoth leadership, which pulses that green and blue. And then he feels the emotions almost pushed away as he senses the divine mandate maybe of what Bazgoth was. Purple and black, defeating a Nom. And then a pure pale silver also emerges. Selah's memory. And that may also pulse with a little bit of grief and guilt within him. But she removes her hand from his chest and begins to walk through each one of these, touching each one as well. And it says, "Your father wanted you to stay on the farm, marry, provide grandchildren. That is his dream, not yours. The lightning struck you and burned that path closed. You felt it even then." It says, "Storm Gorge and Whisperfang, you carry them with pride, but you are honoring him, or trying to become him, to be the warrior he was denied the chance to become. Selah, you searched for a year. You keep her clasp, or kept it, but it's still on you within the burning. But Grumthar, she's not coming back, and living your life as a momentum to her death doesn't honor your memory. It buries yours. So yes, keep them all. They're all real. They're not illusions. But you are creating the illusion of not knowing what you want. what truly is in your nature and who you truly wish to become. Set a path just like your father or grandfather did. Set that path as Grumthar, not in the shadow of your father or your clan or your grandfather. And once you find that path, once you are balanced, and once you are not trying to do all at once, then you will come to be who you truly are. Your character will shine through. Then everything else will fall into its pieces, into the fate that you are searching for.
I shall pave my own path then. And I will let these pressures come in alignment with the path I carve. And if they don't come into alignment, then they weren't meant to be.
She will give you a soft nod in her small or soft whisper. And she says, yes, you just have to be you, the farmer struck by lightning, who became something more. Do not walk every path. Just choose your own. And unfortunately, I do not come in order to ease the pressures and pains that you have, but to give you another choice of a path. One that I do not force upon you. She says, I have visited all of your comrades. And I will also be visiting Grom. But there is something I am here to give. More power, growth. And these are my gifts to you. And I do not ask for anything in return except that hopefully you will stay in the path that in the arena was given us for the rest of the group. Tarnik, Grom, Cub. All the original group that believe in Gonash, and that Gonash had set them in this fate.
Sometimes I wonder if I'm the only one that has any faith in Ganache at all. We have a paladin that lost his faith. We have a Duergar that does not accept the fate that was placed upon him. We've lost the others. How I wish to believe they are Ganache's chosen. I wish to believe I were one of his chosen. I wish I saw it in them. I wish they behaved accordingly.
She'll look at you and says, I admire your ability to keep strong faith with Gonash. I am not here to turn you away from the ideals that he has. But I am also here to say, Gonash, the domain of the gods, he was never really there at the arena when they fought. Tarnik has things in the path, and Gonash was never really there when he was struggling. He made an idea, believing that Gonash had set them on a path. Unfortunately, it was never true. Gonash saw, because I was there, I am there, always watching, listening. Gonash saw that his clan was weak, and because they were defeated by elves, turned his back on them. Gonash had nothing and wanted nothing to do with a weak clan. And she looks over at Grumthar and says, I respect the order because my father is a god of law, but he is also a god of evil. But he can keep order. Unfortunately, the other side, the evil, as I explained, can be quite painful. I do not push people away from worshipping my father. Everyone has their own paths, but I do believe the name, the chosen of Gonash, he never really cared. Though he was happy that his name was being pushed, of course, being spread, the chosen of Gonash have some sort of ring to it. He's never really been involved. And I say that because, yes, I would wish him to be more involved in the followers that worship him. But, as all gods have, and as your new companion, the one that is part of the group, the Serpari, had also explained that gods treat people as playthings, pieces of like a dragon board chess game. Some gods are loyal and honorable, but unfortunately you were dealt a hand of the pantheon of Gonash. And most gods, as mortals speak, say that are self-serving. If that is true, then Gonash and his pantheons are at the peak of self-serving. Though they will watch and protect their followers as much as they can easily turn away from those that they deem unworthy. My sister, Lyceria, my brothers, of course, bringing the decay and diseases upon orcs just to have their fun and see which ones will survive, and then consider them to be the strongest and worthy to be worshippers. And of course Gonash and Mother, having them fight in arenas against themselves, meaningless slaughtering amongst orc tribes even. All of it meaningless. I could not abide by it. Do I still follow under his pantheon? Yes. I do not have the power to stand against Gonash. And I'm not saying this to you in order to paint him in a dark light. I'm just saying, worship if you wish, but be careful. And she says, I am here in order to gift you my power, to help you grow, because I do not want Anam to succeed. And though the pride of Gonash and his ability to fantastically wave away the danger, because other gods are also fighting him and he wants to see them suffer against us worshippers that they lose. I've tried to have him join against this evil that's growing, but his hate for the great god is unyielding. He sometimes is blinded. But I'm here, Grumthar, to offer you a blessing from me, the Mistress of Illusions, and help you grow, to have strength to face Anam. But either you can accept it by word or accept it by simply just accepting it. In this realm of dream and illusion,
think Grunthar takes a knee before her. I've been my whole being, with all of my heart. If you are able to see who I truly stand for, of every decision I make, every action I take, you can see it's in servitude to Ganache. If you are sent here in his name, I willingly, eagerly accept whatever gift you would bestow upon me.
She says, I am under his pantheon. So you can consider, in a way, without his knowledge, that I am also trying to save him and the pantheon, though my sisters and my brothers will not listen to me and take this seriously. Though I do not agree with my father's ways, he did birth me, and he is so adamant in not listening to me. So I'm taking matters into my own hand. So yes, I am doing this for my father's sake, at least to try to save him, for I do not wish him to be banished from this world. She would walk over, and she puts 2 hands at the side of his head. Then accept my gift. And then she will give him a kiss at the top of the forehead, and then she lets this energy, divine power, flow into him as she starts to wisp away.
He just kneels there, eyes closed, relishing in the gift that she's bestowed upon him, becoming aware of the entirety of his body, searching for whatever newfound ability, power that she might have given him.
And then as that is happening, you do feel this awareness of perhaps more strength, perhaps more abilities, your mind becoming clearer in a sense. And then you also feel yourself back, sleeping, and you feel the warm cradle of your companion, Ashara, wrapped around you. And with that, you are back sleeping.
And I think in my twilight state of dream, not dream, I coax my mind to just share. Did you experience that with me?
And Oshara is sleeping. She opens one eyelid, says, I think you may have been dreaming, but I did sense some strange sense emanating the room. But fear not. There are wards all over the tavern. Nothing can penetrate them. And she smiles and then cuddles a little stronger.
Let me share with you the dream in everything I can recall. You could bring me comfort in this as well.
She smiles. Of course. Tell me.
And I just go through it.
Cool. All right.
So I pinged you. I pinged the group halfway through there. I suspect you didn't see it, William.
You see,
this concept of
oh, okay. Combination of white dove comes as version of the turtle.
consider that.
Okay.
Yeah, I posted it in general chat.
Well, that's not quite what I had in mind, but
That's interesting. I like that. Oh my goodness.
That's cute.
Oh, cool. All right. So, because this was a heavy RP session, I will have to RP with Cub stuff. I have historian background. I'm gonna say we're going to go ahead and end here. I needed to get that passed. It's a lot of RP. So hopefully everybody enjoyed it. I know it took forever to get back to everybody's round. I knew I was gonna do that. That's why I was trying to get to the rooms as quickly as possible without going into other stuff around the city. Just doing
Oh, good. I think we all picked up on that fact pretty early.
Yeah. Yeah, I was trying to get that RP for everybody in that one so I could because that's why I had everybody level last time, because I knew that was going to do enough specifically to see what everybody's going to do with their reactions with this goddess and how they accept or not accept. The good roleplay on Mr. Edward there, I figured he was going to go ahead and turn it down. I was like, oh, either way. You'll go back down, but you got some RP points there for sure. But yeah, we ended up being pretty good on getting that.
I was confused.
Yeah. Well, that's
I
good.
was really confused. Usually when I get confused, I let the dice tell me, okay, I guess Dice God says I refuse.
It can be confusing when gods get involved, and y'all are in the second phase now, so y'all probably start seeing a lot more of them. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream there, just because I know Cub's RP is going to take a little bit, and I'm going to have to probably work through the thing before we actually wake up in the morning. So I want to handle that. I'm going to stop recording. Thank you for everybody that's viewing and future viewers. And we will see you next Sunday. And goodbye.
bye.
Hey, everybody.